Nick Saban is in mid-season form. I was surprised that he got this animated. It's a little early for Nick, but, you had the close call with Texas, and Nick just doesn't want to hear from a reporter talking about quality opponents.
How hard is it to gauge offensive growth when the quality of opponent can vary? With Utah State, Texas, and now ULM this week.
Well, but that's your opinion on quality of opponent. All right, it's not mine. All right, I respect all the people that we play. All right, so and every player should not be focused on who they're playing against relative to their motivation, but every player should want to be the best player they can be. So why would it matter whether we're playing Texas or playing somebody else? I've told you guys more than once, when I was in the NFL, I watched players, I didn't know who they were playing against. I was just evaluating them. So that means when we play a team that's not as good as somebody else, you don't play as good. So you let the opponent determine how you play. You let the score determine how you play.
I was just asking about the future.
It was a very timid question.
Give my opinion like I was supposed to.
Just find out UL Monroe's offense versus your...
Just play the question there, Marv, if you can.
How hard is it to gauge offensive growth when the quality of opponent can vary? With Utah State, Texas, and now ULM this week.
Okay. So that one feels like it was a question that you're going to write down the night before, and when it's your turn to ask a question, you're going to say, how difficult is it to...
What's wrong with that question,
There's
though?
nothing wrong with that. But it almost feels like Nick goes in and it's like... No, am I going to put up with this stuff today? Am I going to bang that? He loves to bang the podium. Did he bang the podium there? Where was there one or two?
We reviewed the tape. It appeared to be 1.5 bangs, which means it's pretty light reaction.
He was going to find anybody this week to do a little rip the media thing because they almost lost to a team they should have destroyed, and he's pissed about it. So that's what do you mean? Louisiana Monroe is a good team. But, dude, no, they're not. You're Alabama.
He has to send a message to his players. That's what this is. Don't take anybody lightly. No, they're not taking you lightly. You do not take them lightly. Yes, Marv.
How irritated must the audio guys be? Like, you know what? At the University of Alabama, they didn't play well against Texas. It's going to be a long week at the podium, guys.
Yes, it is.
If they win this week again 55-0,
will he apologize to the reporter? No.
You know what? You're right. That team was garbage.
Yeah. No, he's not going to say that.
We should be playing actual real teams week in and week out, but we can only play who we got in front of us to do that.
Yes, Todd.
He was looking for an opportunity to rant about that specific thing. And unfortunately for the reporter, it was at his expense in front of his colleagues. There was no reason for that. He didn't say, like, you're playing a far inferior team this week. How are you going to get your team motivated? Something like that could have set him off.
I've been in those press conferences where you get humiliated. You get humbled. Pat Riley did it to me. Bill Parcells did it to me. Don Shula did it to me. You just got to hold your ground. If you think it's a fair question, a question that needs to be asked, then you do it. But they try to intimidate. And if you let them, then they'll continue. Bill Parcells was famous he just wanted to make fun of somebody. Every press conference. And if you felt like you thought you knew the NFL, he was going to let you know it. How many games have you coached? None. Oh, okay, so you want to tell me how? Oh, okay, all right. Hey, everybody. He wants to tell me how to coach. It wasn't funny, Todd.
I think in the moment it would not be funny. But as long as I'm not the one, if I'm not the one that asked the question,
no,
I can giggle in the background. As long as I was the one that didn't ask.
But I heard you, and it hurt. Okay, those things hurt.
You get embarrassed by these coaches.
NBA Finals: Spurs against the Knicks. Pat Riley, and I asked Dr. Jack Ramsey, one of the great basketball minds in the history of the sport. I said, "We got a good question to ask Pat Riley." Dan. Ask him this. Well, I asked him the question that Dr. Jack, it was very inside basketball. And Pat Riley looked at me in a group of reporters and didn't answer it. And I went, oh, wow, that one. So I walked over and Dr. Jack goes, how did it go, Dan? I go, It didn't go well, Jack. I said, he didn't answer the question. Oh. At that point, Jeff Van Gundy, an assistant for the Knicks, walks over. Dr. Jack and I are on the other side, Madison Square Garden, on the basketball floor. And Jeff Van Gundy goes, I hate to tell you this, but you guys are going to have to leave. Because Jack normally would get to stay and watch practice. Coaches would let him because he's a Hall of Fame coach. And I said to Jeff Van Gundy, I said, Jeff, just let Jack stay. He goes, no, Coach wants both of you to leave. And so I got humbled there. Yeah, Paulie.
Going back to the reporter who asked Nick Saban the question, first of all, the reporter sounds like he looks like McLovin, which I'm sure didn't help his case. But it's like a phrase that Nick Saban gets triggered by: quality of opponent. And no matter what your question about the offense, engaging the offense, once you go that direction, if you're a campus reporter or a school reporter, you got to know you're going to get that. If you play it again, you'll hear what I mean.
But I thought it was a fair question.
It is a fair question, but when you start using a phrase, quality of opponent with Nick Saban, that is going to get his ire up. And either you know that or you can't not know it.
I've got my ire up.
I'm not sure what that means either.
But are we supposed to act like Alabama's football schedule is all equal quality opponents? We're supposed to do that just so Nick Saban doesn't get upset?
Yes.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yes, Mark.
You know this question is coming if you play a directional or a dash.
Yeah.
Come on.
Play it again. Play the question again.
How hard is it to gauge offensive growth when the quality of opponent can vary? With Utah State, Texas, and now ULM this week.
Well,
Is that Jonah from Ozark?
He would have had a shotgun with him if it's Jonah. If he stops, play it, and I'll tell you when to stop. And if he stops there, then maybe he gets an actual answer.
How hard is it to gauge offensive growth when the quality of opponent can vary?
Okay, stop there. So I know quality of opponent is going to trigger him, but if you just stop, don't mention any other schools. But if you say that, when the talent level is going to vary with who you're playing, that's a fair question to him. Yes, Eden.
Coach, you're opening up the season with an absolute buzzsaw of a schedule. You got Utah State, Texas, Louisiana Monroe, and Vanderbilt. Do you think this scheduling is fair? How can one team possibly face that many quality opponents back to back to back?
That would have been fantastic if he had.
I know. Oh, I guess you're mocking me.
Coach, do you think this is fair? Who's scheduling these games? Don't you guys want to win?
Yeah, this is quite a gauntlet you're walking through. This is murderer's row there, Coach. Okay, guess the point spread. Alabama against the University of Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah, UL Monroe Warhawks. They lost their opener 52-10 to Texas. They play a tough schedule over there.
And Alabama barely got by Texas, so...
And then they housed Nichols, which I think is a school.
Yeah.
And
Rachel Nichols.
Guess the line, Alabama versus UL Monroe.
52.5.
45.
Oh, man.
Todd.
41.5.
All right. Marv.
47.5.
Just to clarify, it's at Bama, in case you thought Bama was going to UL Monroe.
Oh, I'm
No,
sorry,
they won't go
95 and a
there.
half.
No.
They won't go there.
Bama's given 49.5.
Oh.
Like the odds maker's like, I can't go 50. I can't make it 50.
It might be a 50 burger by Saturday. It might be fitting.
That's disrespectful to the quality of opponent.
I'm taking Louisiana Monroe
Let's go.
Good for you.
to win outright.
Drug testing.
That's just crazy talk.
To cover. Is there a bigger line than 49?
No, but there's some close ones. Marvin's UConn squad is getting 47.5 for Michigan.
Oh.
Jeez.
Jim Mora Jr. the third.
Come on down.
Yeah.
That's the biggest. Those are the two biggest lines. I
Yeah,
could
Marv.
find.
Hey, UConn, we can pull it off.
Wait.
We
Is
can
that
cover.
at Michigan or is that at UConn?
That's in Michigan.
Oh, it is. Okay.
I thought that was a rhetorical.
Yeah.
Michigan has played at UConn before.
Home and home.
Yeah, it's home. 10 years apart, home and home.